What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another tropical forecast here by Asian Weather Forecast. In this video, we'll be talking about something actually different, actually a potential tropical wave, a pretty decent, significant tropical wave off the coast of Africa that's actually happening right now. And we have a big area of convection with a low pressure system that can actually be maybe an area that can possibly develop. It's not a disturbance yet on the National Hurricane Center, but trust me, you will definitely react differently when you see this on our brightness and also on satellite imagery here. This is actually a very well organized looking thunderstorm here. So it's got plenty of convection. It's got some banding here, and this is actually just over the waters here of the African coast. So really watch this possibly closely. Maybe the National Hurricane Center will put a disturbance for it, but really monitoring this very closely as conditions for the MDR have actually really became more favorable to have systems that are long track. Shear has kind of gone down, especially off the coast of Africa, and there is really no shear whatsoever near off the coast of Africa. So this is actually a decent area of concern that possibly really watch out for the next coming hours here. But before we get into the video, please subscribe if you're new, and also hit the post notification icon so you get notified as soon as I do a video. We will also briefly talk about briefly talk about Josephine and Kyle as well. But really, this video we're gonna really keeping close eye out, mostly on the tropical wave here. Also, last but not least, also check out the awesome Discord server in the link below. Weather Expo there. That's my Discord server about weather. You must be 13 and up though. Without further ado, let's get into the tropical forecast. So here's looking at the National Hurricane Center. As you see, they have not updated at 4 o'clock. They updated at 4 o'clock, but no disturbance yet. I do expect definitely disturbance by 11 o'clock. There has to be, or 8 o'clock here. I expect to have an X right here and a big area right here for potential development right here. I expect this to possibly be at least a 10% chance, maybe a 30% chance. Because when you guys see this on RI brightness, you guys will be like, holy cow, how is this not a disturbance? I have no idea how this is not a disturbance. I really don't know. So don't ask me that. This should definitely be a disturbance right now. So X will be off the coast, like around the coast, and it's going to be like that. Something like that. I do expect that to happen here. So we'll see if that happens by the end of today. If this is not there by the end of today, that'll be dumb, in my opinion, here by the National Hurricane Center. But it is what it is. Here's Kyle here at 50 miles an hour, 1,000 millibars. Only thing that has updated is the speed it's moving at. It is now moving east-northeast at 22 miles an hour there, so heading deeper into the northern Atlantic there, and some cooler temperatures right here. It could be post-tropical very soon. Dryer is expected to get to it. And then we have Josephine here at 45 miles an hour, still moving at 17 miles an hour west-northeast, and is now it's still at 1,008 millibars. So nothing has changed really with these storms. Kyle and Josephine at 5 o'clock. But I definitely expect a disturbance here very soon here, like that. Something in the tropical Atlantic, like a 10, possibly even 30% chance. I mean, this is, you guys are going to be seeing. But let's go now. Let's go to the exciting part and check what it looks like on RI brightness. And also look at the amount of convection this system has. It's mental. But let's go and take a look at that. Take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that major amount of convection right there. This is absolutely mental. This is by far the best convection signature we've had so far this year, and that is definitely reasonable. Like, look at that. We have not had this much convection at all in any Atlantic storms this year. We had it with Douglas, I believe, but Atlantic storms we have not had this much or this organized convection, and this is actually now over water here, so really keep an eye on this. Like, this convection is really crazy. This convection, it's absolutely mental. We are starting to see some banding right here to the north like that, and also to the south. So this actually does have some very well-defined banding. Like, look at that. How is that now a disturbance? How is it not a disturbance here? Like, it is over water now that I know of here based on that center convection. Like, how is that not a disturbance? I don't understand. They made 96L disturbance when it was like literally like a teeny little dot. But this looks very organized, and yet it's not a disturbance. Honestly, guys, I do not understand what the National Hurricane Center is doing right now. But look at that here. I mean, we don't have really much shear whatsoever here. We have a little shear to the south here, a teeny little bit, not much enough to take this apart. And we have no dryer. This actually has a moisture bubble because it's part of a tropical wave here, so it has a whole line of moisture. So there's not really a way you can say this is not a disturbance. Like, this has to be a disturbance, at least a 10% chance. Like, I understand. This actually, like, this is actually right here, like, one of the best convection centers we've had this year in the Atlantic so far, by far. This is by far the best convection center we've had so far this year. And look at that. We're seeing pinks, very bright white. Let's check out water vapor. This is where it's going to shock you guys. Let's check out water vapor here as it continues to move. Look at that blow up in water vapor. How is this not a disturbance? Look at the size of that system. Look at that blow up in convection. It's actually doubled in size, actually. Like, look at that massive water vapor signature. This is, I don't understand, guys. I don't understand how this is not a disturbance. I really don't understand. Like, everything is there. We have this is not even an invest. You can expect much, but this has by far the best vorticing signature I've seen so far this year. Has some decent banding, not impressive, but it has some banding to it. You can kind of tell. It has blow up. It has very well defined center convection. Actually, look at that. That has some very nice center convection. Look at that latest run. Nice center convection right there. Very well defined. Let me zoom in for you guys. Look at that. Very well center convection right there. So I don't understand how this is not a disturbance. But let's go and check out now all the conditions and all of that ahead. But yeah. So here's a look now at the actually see like how much moisture we're having with the system. But look at that, all that moisture right there. Look at that moisture right there. This is actually a very high amount of moisture right here. Now, it's actually just off the coast of Africa now. It was over Africa a couple hours ago here, like 2 hours ago. I was really looking at this like 2 hours ago, really. And this is Josephine right here. Compare this to Josephine. Compare a tropical storm to what this looks like. Compare it. Look what Josephine looks like compared to this. Like, and this is not even a disturbance. And this is a tropical storm. Like, understand this, guys. Look at that. It's actually bigger than Josephine itself. I don't understand how you can say this is not a disturbance. Like, this has to be a disturbance right now. Like, there's no absolute way you're telling me this has a 0% chance for development in the next 5 days. I don't know what to say. Look at that. That's a tropical storm, guys. That is a tropical storm. Compare that tropical storm to not even a disturbance, like just a little scattered thunderstorm. Like, oh, guys, this is actually really impressive, though. This is really impressive. This has to be disturbance by the end of today. I mean, just compare the size, compare the center convection, everything here. But yep, here's another look at it, and here you are. This is actually not the latest update, or is it? There we go. So just look at that. That's got some nice banding to it. Actually, look at that southern banding right to the south like that. Trying to go to the north like that, low pressure like that. I mean, this is pretty organized. I mean, it's not even an invest. Think about that. It's not even an invest. And look what it looks like compared to Josephine, which is the tropical storm. That is pretty interesting. Let's go check out how favorable the conditions here. So let me actually move my webcam like that. There we go. Perfect. I see the system's around right here. It's got like 28 degrees Celsius waters, and look at the MDR. Perfect conditions. In order to withstand a hurricane, you need 26 degrees Celsius or above. Look at that. We have 27. We have 26 right there. We have 28 degrees Celsius right off the coast of Africa. So really interesting here. Very well could be a long track system here heading toward the western Atlantic. I know we kind of thought that about Josephine. Or actually, not really. I mean, Josephine was supposed to be a long track system, but obviously shear kind of took it apart. But this will actually be completely different. Josephine's actually helping clear the conditions here. There's no shear. There's no dryer in this whole part off the coast of Africa here. There's a big moisture bubble right here, and there's basically no shear. There's only shear to the south of the system, really, that could get close to it. But honestly, guys, a big threat if it does become a long track system here. I mean, that's concerned. You know, obviously, long track systems are very well famous for August and September and October. And also, we got big, really warm waters for the western Atlantic here, so that's a big concern. But condition-wise for the MDR, water-wise, perfect. So let's go and check out now the conditions, actually, whether we're going to see a lot of moisture or all of that. So here's a look now at the moisture. As you see, like I said, there's a tropical wave coming in this way from Africa. As you see, look at all that moisture right there. The dryer will not affect the storm anytime soon. Look at that big tropical wave, big moisture bubble right there from that from this low pressure. As you see, it's gonna really go in the Gulf. I mean, why I say the Gulf? It's really gonna go in the MDR. And look at that big moisture bubble. That's a very impressive moisture bubble there. That could very well withstand a low pressure, a long track storm. As you see, kind of pops with low pressure, and then it heads for the MDR. You know, really, there's a lot of dry air south of this. So the fact is, will it become something? That's the question there. But really, something to really keep an eye on with this tropical wave here. Definitely something to really keep an eye on moisture-wise. I mean, we have no dry air until this actually goes really up into the MDR. But I mean, if that low pressure is still within that moisture, it could still survive. You know, it's just whether this dryer will actually disappear. No, this dryer is really getting annoying actually. But shear's also of course keeping on our mind. Shear's also on our mind. But look, this system's around what right here. It's got currently they basically no shear, less than 20 knots of shear around the system. But watch as it goes out to sea. Watch. There's less than 15 knots. In some areas, there's 0 knots of shear, which is absolutely crazy. That's why I'm saying this could definitely be something to really watch out for, because there's like no shear whatsoever in the MDR where the storm's going to be heading. So shear is not an issue. Shear is not an issue. It is just whether that dry will wrap around, you know. That is the thing. But there is no shear whatsoever, which is a big concern. But obviously there's dry air. That dry air is really the only thing that can really take the storm apart, really. If it becomes a storm, the MDR, the only thing that will take it apart will be the dry air. But wow, no shear. That's a big difference compared to what Josephine's conditions were. But let's go and check out now really quickly Kyle and very quickly Josephine. Then we'll wrap up the video. So here's a look now at what we have for Kyle. As you see, expected to be post-tropical very soon here, as dry air is really getting to it from the high pressure in the Canada area. It's going to bring really, it's going to rip the storm apart really, but could continue to be post-tropical as far as Monday, but it's going to be really a short-lived storm there. It's a pretty large tropical storm wind extent. It's around maybe I would say like 3 Delawares, so that's a very good number, or very good moisture, or not moisture, but really good tropical storm wind extent. You see Josephine's really small there. Expected to become a tropical depression by 2 a.m. tomorrow, Monday. And as you see, really going to be going possibly just missing Bermuda as a potential possibly post-tropical depression. Like I said in my last video, I think this could very well become a tropical depression and maybe regain strength through a tropical storm. I know National Hurricane Center does not show that, but really the National Hurricane Center hasn't been the most accurate this year. Obviously, they've been good and bad, but really, I mean, the National Hurricane Center didn't even have a disturbance on this big storm or that big area of convection and low pressure off the coast of Africa. So I don't know what they're doing really, but I think this could definitely become a tropical depression. Yes, weaken, but conditions will really become a lot favorable. Like if you go and check out my last video if you guys want to see it. But we're gonna be seeing up to no shear here and a big moisture bubble. And a big bubble, and also it's expected to regain a moisture bubble. So that's that. And then last, what I want to say is intensity guidance shows it actually. It's refreshed, as you see, as a tropical storm weakening to a tropical depression very soon, and then regaining strength. I think that could very well happen. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 models showing that. We have 1, 2, and like only 3 models show it not going back to tropical storm force winds. So I think it's definitely going to go to tropical depression and then regain strength to a tropical storm. So Josephine, Josephine is not done. It's not dead yet. Do not give up Josephine. It still has, if this happens, it still has a long life ahead of it. But we will see how it reacts and how much it dies from that dry air. So guys, I hope you guys did enjoy that video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll keep you guys updated on the potential tropical wave here or system in the MDR.